with week number 2 of Project Life for 2020. This is my second layout that I've done with Project Life in quite some time, so I wanted to share it with you again. So this time it is part of week 1 and the rest of week 2. I'm doing Project Life a little bit differently this year. I am loosely doing it by week so I can kind of keep track of everything, but really I am not doing to the strict 1 page or 2 pages per week or anything like that. I'm kind of just doing things in chronological order and documenting the everyday kind of things of life. So you'll definitely see that it's not necessarily week 1 and it's Monday through Sunday necessarily. Sometimes I will have a 2 page spread that is a whole week. Sometimes I will have a 1 page spread that has 2 weeks on it. So I'm loosely keeping track of the weeks, but this is what I thought would work for me this year. I was trying to keep it pretty simple so I didn't have to think too much about that. That's probably my least favorite part of doing all this is one, designing like what's going to go on each page as far as like photos and printing them, and then also adhering to a particular week because as you know, some people will have, or sometimes you have more photos or less photos. And I always found that were really difficult. And then trying to figure out, okay, I need this many 3x4s because this is the page protector I'm going to use, or that many 4x6s. So I really tried to keep it very, very loose this year and basically put things in chronological order, but not, feel like I had to stick to anything real structured. So that's kind of what I'm doing. So if you were interested in, kind of how this is all playing out, that's how it's going. So we are still on part of week 1, and as I mentioned in my previous video, we had Christmas after Christmas on January 4th with my extended family. So I decided to use some Christmas cards on the left hand side, and then on the right, because it really wasn't Christmas anymore, I decided to use cards and things that had the colors of the Christmas or snow, because obviously it snowed, you can see in those pictures, but didn't really say anything about Christmas or presents. So that's kind of how I split the 2 pages up. So basically what is on the left from the no peeking over is that same January 4th, and then everything where my little kitty cat is and the dog on the right hand side is a second page. So this is a 2 page spread. They're smaller page protectors, and I did do some trimming down in the page protectors to try to make my photos work for what I had. So I've already put down some of those heart die cuts. I just had them sitting in my stash. I sometimes will cut things out just to have a bunch of things cut out. And so I had these hearts just kind of hanging out in my little container, pulled them out and pulled out my fired brick distress ink and decided to ink around the edges. I like the stark whiteness of them because of the white cards on the left, but I also wanted to keep them a little bit more colorful by adding just a little bit of red around the edges without coloring them in fully. Now here you can see the glue is showing through. That basically will end up going away once it all dries up. I will hit it with my heat tool here in a little bit and it really goes away. So that's the 3-in-1 glue from Beacon. This Deck the Halls came from the little die cut pack that came with the Project Life cards. This Love Family stamp is an Ellie Edwards banner stamp. I can't remember if I have that in my stash or it was one that I stamped from a friend's stamp set, but either way, I know it is Ellie Edwards. The other part of the banner I thought I would put here on that little snowflake card where I had the camera. I just didn't really like the camera anymore, so I ended up moving it over here to the sunset card where I put the hearts. And I think that works well there. Now I'm just kind of looking to see what else I can do. I have a couple more of these little hearts. I will ink them up as well and add them to the bottom photo here of my daughter and her friend, and then of my family getting ready to open presents. We played Rob Your Neighbor this year. Instead of buying gifts for the kids is what we've been doing. We decided just to buy a $10 gift per person that came, and then we did a Rob Your Neighbor, and the gifts just needed to be generic so that if it was a boy, a girl, old or younger, they would all kind of like what they got. So that was a lot of fun, and it was so much less stressful. So buying Christmas presents is always stressful, and now that the kids are getting older, they all really just want money anyway because they don't really want anything specific, and then they can buy what they want on their own, and it's not very fun just to open money. I mean, I like opening presents that have money in it, but it's just not the same as opening like toys and things like that when they were younger. Here I wanted to add a little bit of that muslin fabric, and so I did some stitching. There's where I kind of hit it with the heat gun. It kind of goes away, but by the end it does go away for the most part. I wanted to use this washi tape because I have some blue color in the snowflake card on the right. but the washi tape is super light, and even if I put it on another background, it kind of disappears. So what I ended up doing was just put it on some white cardstock, and then I'm going to trim it out, and then that's just going to be a base for journaling that I'm going to do a little later. Had a little extra, so what I ended up doing was putting a little fishtail on it and then tucking it there underneath the camera. I thought it added a little bit extra, and then I could use that scrap up without having to throw it away. So now I did decide to type up my journaling. I used my vintage typewriter that I got from my grandma, just cutting everything down into strips, and then I will use my fine liner bottle and my tweezers just to glue it down in all the various places. I don't make you watch all of this. It's not super exciting to watch me glue down little strips of paper. So I kind of show you how I do the one or two and then I fast forward. But that, what is it called? The tweezers really comes in handy. I highly recommend having tweezers or something like that. My fingers are just, it's too hard to manipulate with your fingers. So I got those all glued down. Now I want to add a little bit more sparkle, and I pull out these iridescent white sequins, and I'm going to kind of sprinkle them around the page. I'm going to put it in, I think, about 3 different places, maybe 4 or 5. Yes, I put a couple more places, just 1 or 2 by those little other hearts that I put down. So I'm going to arrange this where I want them, and then I will take my fine liner bottle and my tweezers and glue all those down. So you can just see me arranging them. I kind of wanted them cascading from the top right to the bottom left or vice versa on that card. And then the other ones just kind of tucked in around by the little hearts. I thought they just needed a little bit of extra something. So just adding a little dot of glue, and then that's pretty much it. So that's pretty much it, just putting a bit more journaling down. I wanted to thank you guys so much for joining me. I'll show you some close-ups of all the cards now, and then I have some photos at the end. If you have any questions, leave those below. If you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't already subscribed, I'd love to have you as a subscriber. And if you ever have any questions or comments or concerns or anything, always leave those in the comments. Love chit-chatting with you. And that's pretty much it. I will see you guys again next time. Have a great day. Bye, everyone.